Hi, welcome back. Hi,
Hey, how's it going,
good.
everybody?
Glad you two could make it tonight. We'll be waiting for other guests soon. But for now, we shall proceed as planned. Just gotta let others know that we're ready. Okay, let's just get the screen up and begin. For tonight's topic, guys, the Hobbit trilogy, in which we will rank each of the three films as we go along, starting with Unexpected Journey. Yeah, the first installment of the Hobbit movies that came out in 2012, starring Martin Freeman as everyone's favorite Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins. Yep, Bilbo was a Hobbit that lived under the hill out in the Shire. He was approached by a wizard going by the name of your favorite wizard of all time, Gandalf. Yep, just like in the novels and the animated feature. Gandalf is here. Ah, hello there. Yeah, yeah. Unexpected journey. Yeah, Bilbo was met by Gandalf over at his home in the Shire, and along the way, and then later on that day, he runs into a pack of dwarves who come right into his house, who were told that it was their place they were going to meet, and it is shown right here in this picture.
I thought the dwarves looked pretty good. Some of them looked a little outlandish. Um, there's 13 of them, so I can never keep all of their names straight. Or is there 12? And Bilbo's the 13th, I think. But there's so many characters in the book and the movie. It's hard to keep them all straight. But you have the leader of the dwarves, um, and then all the other ones, and they're basically refugees from their home in the lonely mountain that's been taken over by the dragon Smog, and so they're on a quest to get their kingdom back, and they need a burglar, somebody who can steal things for them, and Gandalf has recruited Bilbo for this purpose. Although Bilbo doesn't know this at this point in this picture, so it's
Yep.
yeah, the book is really good. Written by Tolkien, of course, and I liked this part of the movie quite a bit, where they meet and they eat all his food and everything. Um, the set's really good. His house looks awesome inside. Uh, for the most part, the dwarves look pretty cool. Um, and but again, it's really hard to keep track of who all is who.
Oh yeah, and you said they're all different. There's some that are almost cartoony in their
Right,
Yeah,
backgrounds.
they are.
right.
Yeah, they are
And
cartoony.
and again, I think Peter Jackson for the movie he took some liberties with it. There are a lot of what I would consider goofy things that
Drawstring.
remember the book is supposed to be all is mainly aimed at children, but when I read it as a kid, I never felt like it was like a Disney-esque kind of, clowns juggling kind of story. It was more serious than that. And they
Yep.
kind of went that direction with how some of the dwarves look and act. Um, I think they were more concerned that it attract kids to the movie somehow. When most of the
And
people I
welcome for
think that
the
went to
master.
see it were not
Hey, what's
gonna.
up, y'all?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
Yeah,
Hey
I
guys,
didn't think that the movie needed to really go that route, but But it did have some darker areas in the trilogy, like where they show the ring race tomb later. I can't remember. I think it's in the second movie. That was really cool and dark and like scary. Like if you're a little kid, that would have, it looks like a place you don't want to go.
That's
Um,
right.
Well, I just want to ask, would you have preferred the Guillermo del Toro version that was originally supposed to be?
um, I don't know. I mean, I haven't actually. I think that would have been a little better. I think that the movies would be good if they just if they reined in a lot of the ridiculousness, like the barrel ride down the river where the dwarves are throwing axes and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. That didn't need to be there. Um, the romance with I can't remember her, the Evangeline.
Ariel.
Tariel.
Yeah,
Tariel.
Evangeline Lilly.
mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that really. I didn't necessarily mind it, but I didn't think that it it really it kind of detracted from the story a little bit, and it made the movie extra long when it didn't need to be. That's the other problem with these movies is they're way too long. Um, Also, just a heads up, the reason I'm talking so much and like going over so much is I have to leave in like an hour, so I only have a limited amount of time tonight.
No
So I'm trying to
problem.
like pack it all in. You know what I mean?
Sure thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the original version of Guillermo del Toro's The Hobbit, the first one was going to be more like or sorry, it was going to be a two-parter, and the original one was supposed to be more like a fairy tale, and then the second one was supposed to be leaning more into what would eventually become the tone of Peter Jackson's movies.
Right. Right. Yeah, because a lot of what they have in here is, they got the stuff in Rivendell. You got the Witch King of Angmar running around and stuff. I don't remember him being in the book ever. So what they did was they took a book that should have rightly been about one movie, maybe two if you really stretch it out, and they stretched it into three by adding a whole bunch of stuff to it that was never in the original book. Um, like I can't think of the orc's name, the white orc with the claw hand. Um,
Asgard the
yeah,
Defiler.
I
He
thought he was
he
cool, but
well, he wasn't really a major part. Well, he spoiler alert, he died in the books. His son was supposed to be the one that solely led the Goblin warg or Bat army at the end.
mhm, mhm.
Fun fact, actually, the the guy who was in the he was the orc that was at the spire that Gandalf got trapped in. That was supposed to be the guy who was bald in the movie, like a practical effect.
Mhm.
So they changed a lot of it.
Yeah, they did. They sure did. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, they incorporated the short story of I forgot what it's called, but the appendices of
Right,
when Gandalf, like they explain where Gandalf went off when he disappeared for periods.
right, yeah, because there's what we got the what do you call those, the appendices stories or whatever. I mean, because there's so much Tolkien lore, they had to put that.
Silmarillion,
Yeah,
I
yeah, the
I guess I
Silmarillion.
don't know.
Well, they had some other ones. There were like letters that his son Christopher um, published later that had some more like ancillary stories and lore and stuff in it. Um, but I don't recall when I read the book as a kid that it had anything about the Witch King Angmar in there or Elrond or any of that kind of stuff. Maybe it did, but
See, I only watched the first two movies, but yeah, it all those movies expanded stuff that was way beyond like. the
Right.
book.
Yeah.
I still hold to this day that it should have just been two movies, and it was supposed to be until the studio said, we want three.
Because they
So
wanted to a repeat of the Lord of the Rings, and they thought they could get it out of this, and but just the third one was, I did not like it. I thought it was hot garbage, and especially the second one where they waste about 30 minutes trying to melt gold to pour over smog, and it doesn't even do anything to them. I just wanted that 30 minutes of my life back in the theater. I was like, what are they doing? And a lot of other stuff didn't make sense, but
Well, to be fair, I've never seen this entire movie start to finish, all three. I cannot. I'm sitting there looking at the size of the book, and I see three movies that total up to over 500 minutes of watching, and I said no. I saw it on HBO or whatever the pay channels were,
yeah,
and I saw some of
yeah,
the silliest things ever, and I said I'm never watching this movie ever. I'm just
y-
never doing it.
yeah.
And I actually stumbled upon a fan edit that actually has cut it down to like 4.5 hours. That is pretty close to the book. And
Yeah.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did hear
it's
about
pretty
that.
good. It's pretty good because they get rid of all the nonsense that they didn't need. Um, Again, aesthetically, it looked gorgeous. The movie looked great. The
Yeah.
Now the CGI, some of it was way over the top, like leg running across the top of a falling tower that is like falling behind your feet while you're going, and stuff that isn't really going to happen. Um,
Yeah, the stuff with the elves, like they took that to an 11th degree. I mean,
right.
subtly in the Lord of the Rings, Legolas is able to walk on top of snow while everyone else has to trudge through it. In the movie, basically, he's walking on water in terms of falling debris.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Now
the best way I can say it.
I get that he's an elf and they have all this dexterity and stuff. It just it 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 seemed like it was just put in there for a spectacle, almost like I can't remember. Did they release these in 3D and they were trying to like really play into the whole? Because remember when 3D
No,
came
no,
in?
yes, they did because you know
Yeah.
why? They tried to push the higher frame rate with these movies.
Oh, that's right. Where they looked all weird in the
yeah, they
theater.
did.
Yeah, like they tried to push I forgot what level of frame rate, but it was much higher, and people said it looked like watching sports or something like that.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
watching a like being in the studio watching them shoot it while like actors walking around and stuff. It didn't have the silver glow of the screen and the right kind of, I guess.
Yeah, basically they were trying to push like they were trying to pull a James Cameron with Avatar in terms of like, oh, 3D is going to be the big thing, and they were like, oh, the higher frame rate's going to be a big thing now.
Right. Yeah. 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 You're right. They were trying to make that going to be the standard, and people hated it because it's not the same. The other thing is that Avatar, all of the movie was shot with 3D in mind, and then all these other movies were like, oh, we got to jump on the bandwagon. So they started doing like this kind of half-ass 3D where they went back and put 3D in it, like the terrible Avatar movie, um, the other Avatar movie,
Oh, the Last Airbender,
yeah, the
yeah.
last Airbender one, where they were like, oh, we have to
Yeah, that
change the
too.
name of it because people are too dumb and are gonna get confused. And it's like not the people that want to see the movie, but it was a terrible movie anyway. But so they
The
did all
only thing, the only good thing about that movie is the score, but even then, it just
Mhm.
isn't very much Avatar: The Last Airbender, the show.
Right,
So
exactly. Which is what all they had to do was just do that, and the same with this. All they had to do was do the book, but they wanted to add all this other stuff in there. And then people that read the book were confused, like, what's going on? This doesn't make any sense. And then uh, they're changing characters and adding ones in and doing other stuff to try to stretch it out. And I think it just became apparent to the audience members. But that being said, I
Yeah.
did not enjoy the three movies. Like, I didn't think they were the best or whatever, but there are some good things about them. Like, I liked Lake Town and how that looked. Kind of, it looked almost like Eastern Oblast Russian, you know, um, and from like Ivan the Terrible era. I thought what's the name of the play? Erebor? Is that the actual place that the dwarves are from?
Yes.
Yeah, that looked cool inside. It looked much better than the Mines of Moria did. The Mines of Moria was just a big giant area with a bunch of pillars. It didn't look like anybody lived there.
Yeah.
It looked like people
Well,
actually.
because nobody was living there at the time.
Well, but you know what I mean. It didn't look like it had
Yeah, no, I get it.
domiciles or houses or shops or nothing. It was a bunch of pillars. And
Yeah.
I get it. It was early 2000s, and but
I mean, they did incredible with that budget in that movie because all of the Lord of the Rings original trilogies was just over 90 million, I think, each movie.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes everybody, like, especially like the big budget movies we see now, like, where the heck are they putting all this
I think
money?
it's money laundering or something. I don't know, or they're paying
Yeah, something
kickbacks
like
to like
that.
unions, or it's got to be. How can you spend that much money and then the movie still not be that good?
Well, I
Although
think, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, although if you look at this picture that we have on the screen right here, this looks really good. Also, I think they expanded the story because they wanted to bring these actors back.
Yeah, they did want to bring them back.
Yeah, they wanted to
Also, it
have
was
them
the
in
last
there.
time many of us saw Christopher Lee
Yes,
in live action as well.
and we can be thankful for that at least, even though, like I said, there are a lot of things I don't like about the movies, but there's some things that I do. And
Me too.
how it looks is one of them. Martin Freeman's performance is really good.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Martin Freeman was a very smart cast for
Yeah,
Bilbo.
He
yeah.
was.
He was. There's probably a few other actors that could have played him pretty good, but he was a very good casting. For it.
Yep. Bilbo.
I'm a Hobbit of Baggend, or I'm a Baggins of Baggend.
Yep. Oh yeah. Speaking of Baggins, you remember the Bilbo from the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
Yeah, that was play. What
Same
was
actor.
Ian Holmes.
Yeah, Ian Holmes. Yes.
Yeah, Ian Holmes.
He played the synthetic and
Yeah,
alien.
in the original Aliens. Yes.
Yeah.
And also he was in A Bridge Too Far. That's 1977 war movie. He was in that. Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. 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 They even brought back Elijah Wood as Frodo because it was to feature what the two of them were up to before Gandalf came to meet them.
Oh,
but those are moments that just drove the movies to have longer run times.
Yes.
It was unnecessary. Like, it's just kind of like, hey, remember this? And
Remember berries.
yeah, kind of. I mean, some people accuse The Hobbit of doing it. And it's just like, not really. I mean, The Force Awakens was the movie that basically played the member berries card the most, but it just was trying to. How do I say this? It was trying to like bookend the Hobbit trilogy and saying like, oh, like, trying to overly connect it to the Lord of the Rings.
Hi, Roman.
I'd have to agree with you. It's like they almost didn't give
Wanna
the
come on,
audience any
Ronan?
credit to watch a movie that was
Roman.
just
Basically.
without tying everything in and bringing about. Oh, here's this, and remember this, and this is Mordor, and this is Sauron, and they weren't even in the Hobbit, not even referenced.
No, exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't mind the idea of including like, stuff where, well, where did Gandalf go? Because that was a big thing in the original book, where it's just that he disappears for periods of time, and it's just like, where'd he go?
Yeah.
But
the second movie helps with that. But also, what's good about Unexpected Journey, it helps bring some of the best moments of Gandalf from the anime works in the books into this one. For like the trolls, for instance, they were wondering where the
I
horses.
got termites.
Yeah, yeah. These guys.
That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, but the way the
I got termites too.
termites.
Has
Yeah, termites everywhere. Heck, oh yeah, and Bilbo tried to stall them for time by saying that he and the dwarves are filled with parasites and stuff. Oh my
Oh no,
God!
no, no, not termites, parasites. Yeah.
parasites. Yep. Yeah. We got worms.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I got He kicks one of the other drawers. It's like I got parasites. I got parasites too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what they were saying to try to discourage the trolls from eating them. Luckily for them, they it was all they needed to do to buy them some time. And who else would have come to their rescue but Gandalf? Yeah, but
I'm trying to
Gandalf.
remember. Is this the troll's treasure? Is where Sting was at,
Yeah, it was
and also
precisely.
Glamdring and Orcrist was in there too.
Yep.
Okay. Um,
And here's what Gandalf does to save everyone from the trolls.
right. He splits the rock.
Yep, playing God while
Yeah.
he's splitting a
Yeah.
rock to let the sun shine in,
Yes.
and it turned
Now,
those trolls into stone.
now, I read the Hobbit part of my senior year at high school in a fantasy class. I thought my teacher did a pretty good job of doing like sci-fi and fantasy or whatever. He did not like because the year I was taking the class, The Hobbit, the first one came out. He didn't like the fact that Bilbo stabbed the orcs on the like towards the end of the movie, like when Asgard shows up and they're cornered on the cliff. The thing he did not like about it was the fact that you know Bilbo in the books is kind of like sly and he finds alternative ways to deal with stuff. He did not like the fact that just Bilbo just came out of nowhere and just started stabbing one of the orcs.
Huh.
I don't know if anyone feels that way, but I
I'm trying
vividly
to.
remember.
Didn't he like throw rocks at him or something, or pine cones? I think to
Hmm.
distract him in the book. Hey, I might
Well,
be
in the books,
remembering.
it was just simply wargs. It wasn't warg riders.
Hmm.
So I I can't really remember.
I think that's what they did. They like threw stuff at him to kind of keep him at bay until the eagle showed up to get him out of there.
This would have been a great single 3 hour movie versus 3.3 hour movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
agree,
too
Roman.
much that they stretched out.
Well,
Now,
Sergeant, you said you just watched like the expanded or extended editions, and I said, "Oh my God, how can you add more to an already too long movie?"
Yeah, I know, but it helps explain things well.
Okay.
I mean, the second one, which we're about to come to, had plenty that was taken out, especially one big chunk of scenes that are worth looking at because for various reasons. Anyway, Bilbo, much like the books, does get his sword Sting from the troll's cave, and eventually they
Yeah.
took them to the home of the to Rivendell, to have Elrond and the lighthouse take a look.
I do want to say that I did like the riddles in the dark scene with Gollum in the movie.
So did I.
I mean, it was a tad like too long in some places, but
it
I
followed the book.
had the illustrated version of the book my half brother gave me, and it gave me immediate feels about that. Like, you know,
Yeah, same here.
And I really, I think that the finding of those swords is pretty important because they get like Roman said in the chat, all the important swords. They get Sting, they get Glamdring, and they get Orcrist. And
Yep.
that's where they get him identified as Glamdring is the foe hammer, and Orcrist is the goblin cleaver. And I can't remember. I think it's supposed to have special. All of them are like made from Numenor. Don't they come from Numenor? During
Yeah.
that period of time, they're like super old.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I hate about the second movie.
Yeah.
They got way too much into the politics
Oh
of
yeah, that too.
the town. Like, why? Like, it's so forced.
In the book,
Like,
it's not even anything close to that much about the town. It's just, hey, this is Lake Town, and the dude Bard lives there,
Exactly.
and he's like good with arrows.
Yeah. That's because the shift was taking its toll on the studios back then. And
yeah, they wanted 3 movies, and then Peter Jackson was like, "Geez, I gotta make 3
He was
movies
under a
out
lot
of
of
it."
stress too, I think, at that time, trying to stretch it into 3, and like personal problems going on in his life, things like that, and maybe some health issues too.
I mean, I think also the fact that the movie or the trilogy, I guess, got so ballooned was the fact that there were sets built for Guillermo del Toro's version, and it was left like,
Mhm.
whenever you make sets, it costs money to preserve them. And, with the transitioning of Guillermo del Toro to Peter Jackson, it just ballooned the budget more. Because I don't know how many months it was between the time that, they were like, hold all the filming, and then Guillermo del Toro is like, okay, I'm out. And then Peter Jackson's like, damn, I gotta step in. So,
Wait. What made Guillermo del Toro leave?
yeah.
He had apparently the Hobbit houses that were made for the movie. I
Yep.
don't know if there was much more beyond that. But I know that the sets for the Hobbit houses were there.
Did you ask Dragon Master? Did you ask why he left the project, or was that your question?
I was asking why he what made him leave the project.
I don't know.
If anyone knows.
Yeah, hold on.
I don't know exactly, but he went on to do Pacific Rim.
Yeah. Yeah, something
which
like
was
that.
a pretty awesome movie.
Yep, that too. Anyway, we all know that much like the film, like the animated movie and the books, we get the goblins. Yeah, relative rate species of the orcs, as well as enemies of the dwarves, who have been living in the tunnels for years. And their Goblin King, man, is he ugly or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at his chin. I mean, look at that bulge. I mean, what in the world? Did they really have to go that far with giving him that big flat blub?
Yeah,
His chin looked like balls.
they gave him like a giant goiter or something. Now,
Yeah,
I like
I
the
can't
way that he
believe
talked,
that.
like he was like super smart, a goblin, which is very, very well mannered, with the way he talked and stuff. But
Yeah,
Well,
also,
they kept the song he sings about Goblin Town in the movie from the book.
yeah. Now, I do have an answer as to why Guillermo del Toro left. It was due to prolonged production delays. He had moved to New Zealand. He had done all this stuff to like set the movie up, and it was taking too long. And he wanted to go do other things that he had wanted to get done. and they had prolonged production delays caused by MGM's severe financial troubles at the time. Because you got to remember, this was 2008 into 2010. That's when you had the big housing crisis and the bailouts and all that stuff. So,
Wow.
so that's basically why he left. Is because of that.
So money was an issue.
Well, it wasn't that they weren't paying him. It was that he didn't want to sit around not shooting and doing anything when he could be working these other projects that like meant something to him. And yeah, he wasn't going to be, it was going to be a long time and he was going to have to just get paid whatever they were paying for the movie. He could make 2 movies and make double that amount of money in the same amount of time. He's just sitting there. And he uprooted his life and moved to New Zealand to make the sets and all that kind of stuff. So,
yep.
So he bounced.
That would make perfect sense for him.
I mean, I feel bad that we were robbed of a potentially good duo like movies, but at the same time, Pacific Rim was pretty awesome.
Because Peter Jackson was co-doing stuff with him with it. Like
oh yeah, no, he was completely behind whatever he was doing.
He was collaborating on scripts and designing creatures and stuff. So
yeah. He actually said for Gollum, or Guillermo del Toro, he said, I'm gonna still make him what's the word, CGI creature, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I mean, because they already had the actor all lined up. He was perfect for the role. And also, you didn't want it to be too different from that and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And because they had all the same actors, they were all about doing it. That part is cool about this movie, is if they do have Elrond, it's the same guy that played Elrond in the Lord of the Rings. Same with all the characters.
Including Gollum.
Yeah, and Gollum was exactly the same, looked the same, everything, same actor. So that part worked, and I think that's why the scenes with Bilbo and Gollum in the caves work so well.
Yep. Yeah, because it's where he gets the ring that sets up the stage for the other 2 films and the Lord of the Rings trilogy, on how he ends up with it 30 to 60 years after his adventure to the Lonely Mountain, and how the ring, as you know, Sauron's ring of corruption and evil. Yeah, that ring, the one ring that drove him mad. Yeah, Bilbo took it from Gollum, and he used it to escape. You can still join us if you want, C.D. Stein. I'll send you an invite. Yep.
Yeah. The so that part was good. It's just all the other bloated stuff they added to the movie that kind of didn't need to be. I don't know. You said that there's an extended version with all like the stuff they cut out.
Yeah, the second film does.
I might be interested in checking that out, and here's why. Do you guys remember the 2011 movie Sucker Punch? I
remember that.
It had the girls that were like put in a mental institution, and then they had a second layer where, in their mind, they were dancers in like a club. Right, that the orderly.
And then there's a third layer.
Third one where they're like doing like comic book video game stuff, fighting dragons and German soldiers with steam powered bodies and whatever in World War I kind of settings. And
while they're looking sexy as hell, yeah.
Right. But the movie didn't do good, and people were like, "I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense." But there's an extended version where they put all the stuff they cut out in there, and it has John Hamm. That's his name, right? John Hamm. He was like the doctor that did lobotomy. They have him in there and all this other stuff, and there's like a musical number in the middle that they totally cut out of the movie, and it totally makes way more sense by that. And because I went through that experience, now I think maybe sometimes if you have an extended version that puts back in the things that were cut by the studio or whatever, the movie might be better because it might actually make more sense. You know what I mean? Or
I may have to watch it now because I watched the theatrical version, and
yeah, yeah,
I had a lot of hope for it because it looked very unique at the time, but watching it, it just was like, eh.
right. Yeah, that's what I said. I recommend that that if you know, if you can find the actual extended version with all the stuff, the original director's cut, I guess, and
Yeah.
it should be good. The same with this. You know, I think I'll look into that. Um,
I have to find the edited version of this movie. Maybe it'd be better.
the one that they trimmed it down to make
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
cool.
And right after Gandalf kills the Goblin King, the dwarfs and everyone end up being chased by the orcs. You know, Azog the Defiler sends his orc comes out revealing himself to. He even revealed himself to Thorin to have survived. Right? Oh wait, hold on. Right here. Yeah, this is Azog revealing himself to Thorin that he survived getting his arm cut off.
Right, because
Fun fact that Azog is played by one of the guys from Spartacus, the series.
He was Deathstroke. Yeah, Manu Bennett.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking about in the Arrowverse?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
Deathstroke.
Yeah. He was pretty good. That show was great.
He's a pretty good actor.
Seasons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 I liked the warg riders and stuff. I thought they were cool in this and whatever. Also, I like that the Elf King rides a giant stag with like big antlers and stuff. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. It was cool.
Well, the thing is that I looked up the Battle of the Five Armies. The armies in the book are smaller than in the movie. Not by like a giant statistic, but the elf army that shows up at the doors of Dwarven Kingdom is probably like 1,200 to 1,400. And then the armies of the dwarves are likely 500. And then
Traditionally,
it's just smaller.
Or smaller, right? Yep.
Yeah, and then in the movie they try to make it bigger. I think I read something like it's 10,000 elves that show up the kingdom, and the numbers of the dwarves in the orcs in the movie are like near 50,000. And it's just like, okay, it's between the army numbers of the Two Towers and the Return of the King. So
Yep.
So say that again. In the books, were they really outnumbered that much by the orcs? Because it seemed like in this movie they just kept coming, all these orcs. And
I remember in the books that the orcs, the reason they all got together to fight them is because the orcs were massive. And
yeah, it was a massive horde, and you also have to remember that the elves are pretty damn skilled as well as the dwarves. So
yeah, definitely.
Right, yeah. So 500. The other thing about the dwarves is they're like little tanks. They're super armored and really tough and hard to kill.
Send them to me.
Yeah. And and then of course you had the humans or whatever, and but the orcs are, and I guess there were goblins mixed in there too, and maybe trolls. I can't remember.
I think majority was goblins because wasn't Bolg and Azog goblins, and then in the movie they kind of made them like orc adjacent. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, Orcai didn't exist or anything like that, so
yeah.
Anyway, it was thanks to Gandalf for calling in the eagles with the help of a butterfly rather than having the Oakenshield and the Dwarves try to do their best until they finally killed Azov, they had to use the Eagles to escape, and they did. Which and it brings them straight to the mesa that gives them a good view that they were closer to reaching their destination. And this movie ends with Smaug in the gold opening up his eye. Now, before we
Okay,
proceed, yeah,
this transitions into what I really hate about this trilogy. Smog is basically, treated as an afterthought.
oh yeah, where he is not being where because of the light elf, because of the elves and the orcs getting so much attention.
Well, it's more due to the fact that how they broke up the trilogy. He's treated as such a threat in the second movie, and then all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna rain fire on this town." And then the beginning of the third movie, he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and then all of a sudden, "Oh, I'm dead."
He should have
Yeah,
died in
And
the second movie. I think.
yeah, I
They-
hear you, Frost.
it
Anyway,
just was so anticlimactic with him. And the
yeah,
fact is that Benedict Cumberbatch was so good
yes,
portraying him.
he was very good. I really enjoyed Smog and he was properly sized, and he had like a giant hoard of gold. It wasn't like
realistic too.
you see some movies where it's just
He was sleeping on a hoard of gold, and you just see him just rise like a snake out of it, and
Hail
it's just
Emily.
like it's it's basically like out of the book, like the illustrated version of it.
mhm,
Of course, Frostfang.
yeah.
But first, I'd like to start ranking this first movie of the Hobbit trilogy before we proceed. Now, now, in the spirit of J.R. Tolkien, how would you, what out of 10 would you each give this one for the spirit of J.R. Tolkien?
For the first movie,
Yeah, Unexpected Journey.
I'm giving it. Uh, I guess like a 6.5 for me, maybe a 7.
Sure.
It's a decent enough movie, but it could have been better if they had followed the book more accurately, I think.
Yeah. Voice, what's your rating?
It's same with me is, because I'm kind of hard on when we talk about Lord of the Rings, because I'm not big on movie adaptations. So I'm going to have to go with a 7 on this.
Okay. And how about you, Frostfang and Dragon Master? What will you guys give this ranking?
I gave it a 7. It was very close to the books, especially at the time I was taking a course on it. But I think they just add too much BS to it.
I'll give it a 7 because it was a fun movie for the most part. It just it could do with a little more editing.
Yeah, sorry, Spy was calling. Anyway, I give it a 7 as well. Now we go on to the visuals, VFX and CGI. Which would you rate the visuals for this movie, guys, along with VFX and CGI? What would your ratings be?
I would give it I think they're really good. I give it like a 9. They Nothing looked really janky or out of place or too terrible, and the sets were really nice. They didn't skimp on that. You know, like the Bilbo's house looked amazing inside. Looked like someplace you'd actually want to live. And you know, it didn't look like Ant-Man in the Multiverse or whatever the heck that movie was. Or whatever. How terrible that
Quantum Mania.
Quantum Mania, that's it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that.
that looked like garbage, and they spent like 4 times as much on it as they did this movie. So yeah, I like I said, I give it like a 9. I don't aesthetically I don't have problems with the movies. I think they all look great. It's just the story and how things play out in it, writing and whatever.
Yeah. Okay. And what will you get? So voice, Frostfang, and Dragon Master. What are your ratings?
Oh man, I thought it was a gorgeous movie. The CGI was great. I mean, I hate to give a movie a 10, so I'm going to say like not, 8 or 9 on this. Probably more like a 9.
Sure.
I'd give it a
I
9 because yeah, some might argue maybe a little too much CGI, but I think for me it just hit that distinct Middle Earth feeling that you would expect.
And
hmm,
Frostfang.
I might be a little bit out of the popular opinion. I give it 7.5, and it's mostly just due to the fact that I feel like it's just like I don't really know if they really needed to make a lot of the orcs that way, and I wonder a lot if it's due to last minute like, oh, we gotta change the story or stuff like that with Azog and whatever. So it it just it, it leaves a little bit too much to be desired. So it's not like I don't appreciate like, CGI effects. It's just I wonder like what could have been instead. So
All right. And I give it 8 for good CGI and stuff. And now, last but not least, for this first movie, what would you rank the quality of the storytelling in it? Yeah, quality and storytelling. What are your rankings, fellas?
I, I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah,
uh, I think that they added too much stuff to it, and that didn't need to be in there. I didn't really have a problem with necessarily with the writing, and like I said, the performances were decent. They were good, And then it had they included the Misty Mountain song over the Misty Mountains or whatever, which was really cool. It was very good. Um, but overall, yeah, it was just kind of average, really. Um, so that's my
Yeah, I'm going to have to give it a 6 because I mean, the core story is there, but it's just got so much extra. It's like it's not needed.
yeah. What are your rankings, Frostfang and Dragon Master?
uh I give it a 6 because I was starting to feel the fact that okay, they are starting to drag this on longer than it needs to be. Like the first movie could have easily ended where they escaped the elves, but I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I'd get I give it a 5 because I think they did a good job like sending the characters. I like the acting. It's just that yeah, I agree with the others that they just practically dragged it out for a little too long.
yeah. I give it a 6. All right. Now we can move on to Desolation of Smog. Dragon time, fellas. Let me get it. Yeah, before Showwell heads out, let's go to Dra- Dragon, the Dragon. Desolation of Smog. And what really got me into this is the dragon himself, on how amazing it would be to see a realistic looking dragon if that
right.
existed.
Smog is a great dragon, and he talks. He's intelligent. He's cunning. Uh, he's he's but also he's kind of bored because he's been living in there for however long with nothing else
Yeah.
going on, and
And
he's been sleeping for a while.
yeah, and he's not someone to try to fool around with either.
Right, right. But
Very aggressive too.
he's willing to entertain Bilbo's. He's curious about Bilbo, and he's willing to entertain him with his questions and whatever, instead of just eventually tries to destroy him, but he doesn't just eat him right away or whatever. And that's how I like my dragons to be done. Not like Game of Thrones where they're a little bit smarter than a cat and can't talk or do magic or anything.
Yep.
So I really enjoyed that aspect of him. I thought he was very well done in the movie. His hoard looked good. Like the amount of gold that he was hoarding was appropriate. It wasn't like this little pile he was sitting on or anything. It was a bunch of, he was like basically swimming in it. like Scrooge McDuck.
I was gonna say, so he was Scrooge McDuck, but could breathe fire.
Right, exactly. Yeah, he's Scrooge McDuck, rich in gold. And now, I don't know if all that gold was there or he like somehow collected it up and brought it there. But
Hi, CD Stein.
Hey, how's it going?
hey,
Hi. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm sorry about what happened with the dualies earlier.
Oh, I know that was.
Yeah, very unexpected that that the stream got taken down right away over one clip.
Well, and like I said, that I seen that happen to like 3 other creators today. So,
Yeah, we got to be careful too. It's a good thing I don't have any clips to play from the movies because really, we wouldn't want that being used against.
What happened? Somebody's stream got taken down for a clip.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Yeah, but the stream wasn't. It wasn't the first time though that they had difficulties with that.
Well, they actually got supposedly marked as having a firearm on screen, and it was their handheld microphones that they had to use.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, AI looking at your stuff is. I had a problem with X the other day.
Yeah, sensitive to metal.
Yeah, it
I guess I won't share my playlist then.
No worries. Anyway, Smaug was what made me was the reason I loved the second one the best out of the trilogy, because you get more screen time out of seeing him as the dragon interacting with Bilbo and the dwarfs. Yeah, and I love this picture here with him and Bill confronting Bilbo right at the bottom of the enormous hallway inside the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That entire scene was straight out of the book. Like between him and Bilbo. Like it was pure just the whole questioning each other. And I mean, if you look behind the scenes, you see Benedict Cumberbatch do all the mocap work.
Yeah, that's true. But most of the time, the crew was being chased not just by orcs, but also at the beginning they run into a mountain bear, played by a Swedish actor who was really tall and had the ability to turn into a bear. He was present in the final battle against the orcs, though, and he's well known by Gandalf. Yeah. Who would have thought they would add more to it? But was there anything? I can't even remember if the man bear existed in the animated adaptations or if he was added in there as extra to keep the film going and stuff.
I don't. You're talking about the animated one from the 70s where the hobbits were kind of short and fat.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think that was in there at all.
Wow.
The elves looked really weird. They had gray skin and all kind of wrinkly and stuff. But yeah, I liked it. That was a good one. But yeah, I don't remember was the bear thing in the book?
I really don't I don't even know if he was.
Yeah, he was mentioned in the book. He didn't have as much of a part as kind of what was in the movie. They kind of replaced a lot of Tom Bombadil with him in it. So.
Yeah, but also they've given they also seem to have given a lot of screen time to both Orlando Bloom and Evangeline Lilly's elves
Right. And
characters.
yeah, and neither of those characters were in The Hobbit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was kind of unusual too. But one thing that was in the movie just before, or that was in overall spiders. Yep,
Yes. Yep.
Bilbo killing spiders with his sword sting, just like he does in the novel and the movies.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What I
yeah, he
remember
was.
about him being in the dark forest is he has to climb to the top of a tree to figure out where they're at. I do remember that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, they were getting lost in the forest after
yeah.
separating from Gandalf.
I don't know why, but that always stuck with me, even as a kid reading it. Like that portion of it is really clear to me.
Yeah, same
Well, and
here.
that the reason he had to climb to the top was the fact that Mirkwood is cursed, and because of the spiders, and that leads back to like
Hello,
way before even the even before the Hobbit and
Oh,
some of the backstory
that goes all the way back
Hello,
to
guys. How you guys doing?
how's it going.
Doing
That
good.
goes
doing
all the way
well.
back
How are
to
you?
Late.
Mongolian or
Doing good.
something, right?
yeah.
I mean, other than
Yeah.
the internet being annoying, I'm pretty good. So
No problem. Glad you're able to make it. Yeah. Anyway, we were also at the part where the where Bilbo had to take it upon himself to kill about at least 2 to 3 spiders just to rescue his fellow dwarves. But then, right before they were captured by Legolas, Tauriel, and other elves and brought to their elf king, played by an actor who was younger than Orlando Bloom, by the way, who was also James Gunn's Ronan, the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy. And
Oh, that's him.
is how
yeah,
younger is
Yeah, you
he?
can't. Yeah, you can't tell with all the makeup on.
yeah, this is who they cast to play Legolas's father and King of the Elves. I forgot his name, but he was ruthless in some ways. But he was also offering to the dwarves their freedom in exchange to ensuring that they return to him treasure that belongs to him. But of course, Thorin was not only driven by greed, but also by his hatred of the elves, abandoning him, just scowled back at him, and and then they got locked up, leaving it up to Bilbo to use the One Ring to cloak himself before getting all the dwarves out of their
AKA
cells.
my precious.
Yeah, my precious.
My precious. Where's my
Kingdom of
precious?
Mirkwood. Yeah, yeah, escaping the elves. For Yep, they were escaping the elves this night.
It was drawn out.
Yeah,
Like,
Yep.
that's true.
It is. It is. This was supposed to be a 2-movie thing, right?
Mhm.
But it should have been one
Here's-
movie. Let's be real, right? It should have been like a 3-hour one movie. But you know how movie studios are, / people's attention spans in modern time is, unless you do like a break time, right? What do they call those back then?
Intermission.
Intermission,
Intermission.
general intermission, right?
Yeah.
Intermission,
Right.
like for you to go to the bathroom or I guess make a
Yeah.
phone call. You have to make one for less
Yeah,
than
they even
5.
used that word in Finding Nemo as well.
Yeah, they should bring back the
So-
intermissions, but they don't do that no more. So that's why, like Kill Bill, for example, right? Besides the Hobbit movie, they had to split it up into 2 or 3 movies because they weren't going to get their vision. It would have been destroyed.
Yeah.
So I want to propose my alternative to the scene. Anyone willing to listen?
Yeah,
Sure, go
man.
ahead.
Sure.
All right. So in the book, the spiders have invaded Mirkwood. In that chasing, have the spiders be in it versus the the orcs. Like they set up a spider trap for the barrels, whatever, because spiders do that, and it's just the elves trying to pursue them, and the spiders also wanting food. So why not do that?
Hmm. Yeah, that too.
Anyone think I'm crazy, or think I'm onto something?
Yeah, something like that. But also, one thing they also did that was pretty much not in the books was this, but this relationship between the tallest of the dwarfs and the female elf Tariel.
What do they
Yeah,
call the tall dwarves? The ones that basically look like humans, right? What do they call them exactly?
I think halflings.
Halflings, because the other dwarves obviously they look like the Keebler elves from the cookies. So like those are obviously that's what I'm saying. Like
are you talking about like how Thorin looks?
yeah, Thorin
whatever?
looks like a human.
They just
compared-
did that to make him hot so the chicks would like him.
Right.
Normally,
Yeah,
that's why.
because nothing says attractive than the Keebler elves, right, guys?
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's why the other ones look cartoonish, and these guys actually look like they might, actually do something.
Well, they're doing something right because it's like you're doing a franchise, basically elves being the lead, besides obviously Bobo Baggins being a hobbit and Gandalf being the wizard. You need attractive-looking people, guys, to bring in the.
And then what's his name?
Yeah.
The other guy, the one that he has the relationship with
Keely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, So they put that in there, and I don't know. I guess a lot of women liked it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Thorne was played by the same actor who killed the scientist that created Captain America in the first Avenger movie.
Oh, the spy?
Yep.
Yeah. He had he left the
first of many.
He tried to get away in the midget submarine or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor. Actually, he did in the radio drama. He played Wolverine in the couple of seasons that was on. I forgot one of the podcasts of the Wolverine series from Marvel.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that too.
Hey, sorry.
He should play Lobos, no joke, right, guys? The guy in the middle.
Yeah.
Thorin. Is that how you say it? Thorin.
Yeah.
Thorin.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I just want to, just say.
Take care, Shilwell.
Yeah, it was great being on. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. I look forward to having you on again soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care, man.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.
Take care.
Yeah, have a good night.
Anyway, Frostfang, you were saying?
I just want to say that, if Legolas or Orlando Bloom didn't really take over the portion of the movie, if we just spent more time with the dwarves, it just would have been a better movie.
I agree.
Because people are like, well, nobody remembers dwarves. And it's just like, well, Orlando Bloom and Tariel took up a ton of screen time.
Yeah.
You want to bet that's in their contract whenever they signed the original Lord of the Rings movies, if it did well, right? And it includes the sequels or spin-offs or prequels in the case of The Hobbit, anything, they have to get more money, aka more screen time, if they come back.
Wow.
So of course they're going to get
yeah.
more screen, because that's how it works, man. Like, they ain't going to come back for a 1-minute scene. I mean, maybe you could do that with old Bilbo Baggins, right? And Frodo, right? They can do like a 5-10 minute cameo appearance in the beginning of the movie, which that's fine. But this is Orlando Bloom we're talking about.
I would counter that with the fact that if they made a 2-movie series, if he was in all the action scenes in the second movie where it's just like, he has to perform like outstanding stuff in the movie, you could still do that. Like, I suggested earlier in the stream, like they could have fewer elves in the battle, fewer orcs, but still huge many, and Legolas, who is part of that group of elves, he could have been doing stuff like shooting one arrow and going through a number of skulls of orcs or goblins.
Yep, that too. Also, after getting away from the Elf Kingdom and the orcs that ambushed them, the dwarves and Bilbo then came across the bowman named Bard. Yeah, he was played by Luke Wilson, who
Wow,
was
guys, it's my brother. No,
Yeah.
I think that is his brother, right? Luke Wilson, and where's the other Wilson brother?
I want to correct you, Sergeant Garantina. It's Luke Evans.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my god, that
Sorry.
would have been awesome if it was Luke Wilson from
No.
Idiocracy.
Owen Wilson's brother.
Wow, guys, he's like I don't talk like that. That's my brother, Owen.
Oh
And I
my
think
goodness.
him and it would
Yeah,
have been
I-
a completely
it's
different
easy.
movie. Yeah.
Dude, it would have been
Yeah.
basically the Emperor's New Groove in Middle Earth, and it would have been awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, Bard
You
brings
get
them
John
to town
Goodman in
and-
there too.
Yeah, he brought them to.
If the assistant to the mayor in the movie was Kronk, that would be legendary.
Yeah, Patrick Warburton. That would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, frankly,
Well, I don't know if that's a good idea, guys, but let's figure.
Oh,
it
yeah.
out.
it would make it way more entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also a bummer.
Yeah, especially this guy. It's just like he's such a slime ball in this movie, and it's just like, why are we spending so much time with him? It's just like Patrick Warburton is just like, guys, you really understand, but
Oh, yeah. Definitely. He's like Alfred is like Grima in this movie. And the other one, Stephen Fry's character, kind of like an actual evil version of Theoden. I mean, you kind of see a slight resemblance. I mean, bring you back.
well, the fact is that Theoden threw the piece of shit out, and the movie is not really like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, these two were held were suspicious of Luke Evans' character Bard, spying on them and spreading word about them. But then, when the dwarves were offering them gold and looking to take down the dragon, that's when they decided to assist them and provide them with everything they need to fight Smaug. Of course, not all the dwarves went to the Lonely Mountain to take it back. 4 stayed behind because Killy was still wounded after getting shot in the arrow by Bulg. And yeah, I never even heard of Bulg, but if you know him well, yeah. He was played by the same actor who played Doggy Kruger, the Shadow Ranger from Power Rangers SPD.
He did a good
Yeah.
job. I'm not gonna lie, like he did a good job in the performance.
Yeah.
It just kind of sucked though that like I know this is kind of off topic, but it's not because it has to do with Lord of the Rings / like acting in general, right? Like the motion caption and stuff with these characters in that world. They deserve to get awards for their acting performance. That's such a cop out. Oh, it's not real acting because they're wearing a motion caption suit or they're wearing a fucking dinosaur costume or whatever. No, it doesn't matter. If they're acting their ass off, right? And they're blowing their people on the cast, like Orlando Bloom, they're doing something right.
Yep.
Well, just look
I
at
mean,
behind
behind-
the
sucks because
Yeah,
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say,
Which
just look at
which one want to go
behind
first?
this. I was gonna say, look behind the scenes of Cumberbatch playing Smaug. You know, if you watch him in the mocap, he's acting his ass off in that.
Yeah, he sure was.
Because it's not fair.
I was
Because
I was about to echo that entire idea because he looks like he's acting his damn ass off in that
Yeah.
it's
mocap
not like they're
suit.
floating in it. It's not like they're doing a parody of like the old like 1960s 70s like Japanese anime. Like, we're talking like this, up, down, side to side, right? They're not doing
Oh,
that.
right.
They're
It's
not
the
doing
exact
shitty-
same as like disqualifying what's his name who plays Gollum.
Yeah,
He was
Gollum.
acting his
He
ass off.
to win. He deserved to win an Academy Award. I don't give a shit. Well, it's technically voice acting. It's not.
No,
No,
He's
it
actually
isn't.
physically doing it. He's physically moving his body. He's interacting with his co-stars sometimes. It's physical acting.
Well, he was
It's
on
not
set the
fucking
majority
in a
of the.
booth.
Yeah, he was on set the majority of the time, and hunched over, walking around with the mocap suit on him, so they knew.
Yeah, we're not. We're not even. It's not like
Because-
Keanu Reeves, like in the new Sonic movie, right? Like he's not there. He's in a recording
Right.
studio. It would have
Right.
been cool if he wore like a
You're
bodysuit, like a
cum.
black and red bodysuit. I am
You're
Shadow the
color-
Hedgehog.
You're a colorful
Good job,
bunch.
Keanu. You're a
You're a
colorful bunch, and then you-
colorful bunch.
and
Actually,
then you
Sonic,
have,
I want to fight him.
you have Ben Schwartz in a blue outfit. You have the voice actress for Tails, and then you have Idris Elba in a red outfit. Like basically
Yeah, I mean,
acting out their performance.
it does cross into a certain, it depends if you're actually acting versus just in a sound booth and just like, oh, here's my voice versus, someone who is physically acting.
Right.
Because Benedict Cumberbatch was acting his ass off with Smog.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Well,
Like-
he was making the facial expressions that he would think that the dragon would be using at the time, and the animators, copied that a lot of it, and
Here's another
Like,
here's another defense, right? No, go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, it's just
Go
the
for it.
fact is that I studied the book in senior year of high school. He acted his ass off in that scene. Like, it was
Yeah, 'cause-
almost
Because what I'm saying,
so perfect.
Yeah,
what I'm
that
saying
too.
is like, for example, Willem Dafoe in Spider-Man 1, right?
Mhm.
He originally was gonna wear that green mask, right? But he was
Yep.
still acting his ass off, right? But then they changed it and gave him the helmet, and he in the scenes without the helmet, right? He was doing the weird face, kind of like what Jim Carrey does the Grinch face sometimes, even though he's
Right.
not wearing the makeup and the suit.
Yeah.
That's dedication right there. That's physical acting.
Oh,
Most actors
am
do
I?
that now. Like outside of theater acting, right? You don't really
Right.
see that. Like everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm just acting. Yeah, bye, guys. I'm gonna go to my trailer. Nothing important. Like you literally replaced them with anybody,
Right.
but they amp it up.
that scene where
That's
he's just like,
dedication.
that scene where he's just like, misery, misery, misery.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna finish her nice and slow. You and me with MJ, we're gonna have a hell of a time.
Yep. But also, we
and
come to
you
the-
gotta. That's good acting. Go ahead, Sergeant. Go ahead, man.
now we come to where Gandalf enters the fortress of to where Sauron, the necromancer, was creating his orcs. Gandalf went in there alone to find him. And what did he find along the way that wasn't in the theatrical cut? A dwarf. That is Thrain, Thorin's father. He was taken hostage by Aragorn right after
Interesting because in the theatrical cut, you assumed that he died, right? Like
Right.
he either and ended himself, or he was killed by the orcs, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Just to get hunted one by one, because we're hunting Thorin. Remember, I killed your father too. What? Like he kind of said it like that. Like he heavily inferred that, like, I killed your grandfather and I found your father, and now I'm coming after you.
Yeah.
So I guess they changed the canon, or the plot hole.
Uh-huh.
Heads,
What do you think, guys?
Sorry, heads up.
Do you
I
think
gotta leave because
let's
things are.
theatrical? Let's kill off.
Take care, Frostfang.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta leave because something's come up. So nice talking to you guys.
All right,
Take
later,
care.
man.
Have a good
All
one.
right, take care, man.
All right. Yeah.
Do you think that they changed the canon with the theatrical versus the extended cut? They're
Well,
like, no,
obviously
let's kill him in the theatrical, or let's
Yeah.
assume he died.
Yeah. Yeah, but they took that. Yeah, but they took that out because they feel it was too dark to include. And who killed him in the extended edition? Sauron.
How long are the extended cut versus the theatrical cuts of all three films? Like the first one
Almost
is like
4 hours.
wow.
Nearly 4 hours.
Okay, so it's like 4 hours for the first or combined total. Okay.
Yeah. Sauron, right after killing Thorin, took on his physical form and took Gandalf hostage. Yeah.
It would have been
after
cool
all
if they said, "Thou shalt not pass."
Yeah.
You shall not pass. Like, somebody else should have said that in the movie as a callback. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that too.
Or come and claim it, right? That was also a good line.
Yep.
If you want it, come and claim it.
Yep, and now, yeah. Yep, and now Bilbo. And now we come to where Bilbo and Smaug meet. Yeah. One of the best
Who's
parts
the
of
actor that played young Bilbo? What's his name?
Martin Freeman.
He did a good job.
You bet
He did
they
a good
did.
job
He did.
as Bilbo back. I think the original actor that played Bilbo passed away, so if they wanted to bring Bilbo back as an older guy, they could just put makeup on him.
Yeah, that's true.
If they want to, because that's what they did with Edgar. Oh my god, the guy who played Obi-Wan in the prequels. They just made him look older slightly because the original guy died. Like, what do you expect, right? That's why they're doing more Lord of the Rings / Middle Earth projects, if you notice, because Ian McKellen, he ain't getting any younger.
Yeah.
He ain't getting any younger, so you have to shoot more or record audio for him. He's coming up there in age, man.
Yep. Anyway, Bilbo was looking to stall for time until he came across something that the dwarves were looking for overall in the treasure. The Arkenstone.
Also known as the King's Jewel, right?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, and the jewel that drives dwarves mad.
Yeah, that's their version of my precious.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
it's a euphemism for drugs, right? Well, can we all agree with that? That like it has to be like an addiction slash a drug addiction. That's because back then they couldn't outright say that when they were writing stories because there were like codes and stuff in books. So let's just call it, oh, they just love to eat a lot of pizza or they love to drink a lot of Coca-Cola, and
Mhm.
nobody knows the euphemism behind it.
That
The
too.
allegory of like, oh no, it's probably drugs, guys. That's why they're so obsessed with it and they will kill anybody to get it.
Hmm.
I mean, in all honesty, no, not for Tolkien's writings, maybe other stuff. It was because he was a big person on naturalism instead of the industrial age when he wrote all this stuff. So it was like the addiction to wealth and greed was actually kind of one of his large concerns, especially him being, raised strict Catholic. That's kind of one of his kind of ideologies of, living humbly. So that was kind of
Yeah,
what the symbolism with that was.
yeah, that too. Yeah, as soon as Thorin got in there, yeah, yeah. Once Thorin got in, he was starting to lose his mind and started pointing a sword at Bilbo. Yeah, and then Smaug started coming after him and the dwarfs.
You know, I'm so glad we got like even though people trash the Hobbit trilogy, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad we have it because we brought back some older actors that are some of them are no longer with us, right?
Yeah,
Because some of them almost walked out and quit. Ian McKellen almost walked. He almost not came back for the Hobbit. They were going to recast him. That's the only
Mhm.
reason why he came back for the Hobbit. He didn't
Right.
want some other actor to portray him. He's like, I don't want somebody that's not me playing the character. So out of ego, he's like, no, I'll come back. Fine. Okay.
Now you do know originally the role was offered to Sean Connery during the Lord of the Rings trilogy, right?
Oh,
How
interesting.
awesome that would have been, but like as cool as that would have been, it's like he wouldn't be able to do the Hobbit movies because of his
No,
age.
absolutely.
Right on.
He would have been too old. You know what they would have to have done? They would have to shoot like extra pickup shots, right? Basically, shoot
Well,
him in for the Hobbit scenes, and then shoot around him in post with green screen stuff.
well, they would have had to absolutely recast because at the time that they filmed Hobbit, Sean Connery had passed away. Like
Yeah, didn't he die
soon
in
before.
2011? In 2011, he died.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was somewhere right around there. So
Yeah, that too. Hmm.
Also, Del Toro was supposed to do this movie.
Del Toro started on this and ended up getting fired, and that's why Peter Jackson came back on.
Why do you think he got fired? Do you think it was because it would have been too expensive of the vision that he wanted to do?
I think that's what was part of it, the budget and some of the things that he wanted to adapt a little more closely to the books. And I know Del Toro was against the whole Keeley relationship and having as many tie-ins to the Lord of the Rings books as these had, more than what, some of the stuff that was added that really wasn't in the novel.
Yeah. But it kind of makes sense though because you have to do that to pad time, or else you're basically going to create fan fiction, and the fans are going to complain about it. Well, that's not necessarily true. So you have to take stuff that are kind of based off the books to
Well,
make
no,
it sort of canon.
because obviously the Hobbit came before the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
like you
yeah, but
said.
I mean, taking elements from the Middle Earth Tolkien books and
Right.
try to
No,
make
and
sense of the canon and the lore because of limited story, right? Because
no. Well, you can actually. The Hobbit is so dense of a novel that you can absolutely do this 3-part movie, even without like the relationship and without having Legolas in there. Those kind of things. There were plenty in there. I mean,
yeah,
a whole section of Tom Bombadil in this would have extended that, enough.
Yeah.
And
that,
then
that
going more
makes
in detail to the mines, to River City, go back to the history of Bard that it was his father initially that missed the shot on Smaug.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. And that's what Del Toro wanted to do, but the studio wanted to have those tie-ins to the first set of movies.
Hmm.
So that's why they added some of the stuff that was in there.
Do you think that some of Del Toro's like footage is still in the first/second movie? Like they Frankensteined his footage with Peter Jackson's footage because to save money. Got to remember, it's expensive to go on location and shoot stuff.
Exactly.
I think some of his vision, like the design of Smaug, that's definitely a Del Toro design. I mean,
Yep.
that's no doubt about it. And then, like in the caverns, where we see Sauron appear for the first time, and then what some of the trolls looked like, those were absolutely Del Toro designs. So
Because in the credits, right, for all three movies, he's credited as a consultant,
yes, yeah,
which
Mhm.
kind of makes AKA I'm a ghost director / producer
right,
on certain scenes, and we don't want to get sued by Del Toro, so we'll credit him and give him money.
right.
Right.
So that's why
And-
he's credited in the movie, and we like to thank Del Toro.
Yeah. Also, the dwarves in this movie, unlike the novel and the anime movie, were putting up a fight against Smog, using everything they got inside the mountain for their home court advantage, including the forge, which was
Right.
what. Yeah, and they thought they could trap the dragon in a pot of gold, but he was too strong to be contained by the liquid, and he ended up bursting out of the mountain and started headed for Lake Town at the end. Now we can go, and now it's time to rank the movie based on these. So, in the spirit of J.R. Tolkien, what would you each rank this movie out of 10?
I'm going to be honest. As much as I like this movie, the Lord of the Rings movies are obviously going to be better storytelling because this is a prequel, right?
Mhm.
Why would you go backwards and tell a better story than your sequel, right? So I think this is a good movie. So I would say probably the trilogy overall. I'd say it's probably like a 7 or an 8.
Well,
Some people
this
would say
movie-
6, but I think it was entertaining for me.
This
So-
movie, of course, is what I was referring to.
Oh, okay. This is movie 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, so movie 2, I would say it's probably, I think it's slightly better than the first movie. So if I would to give my the first movie I like a 7, this would probably be a 7.5 or an 8. So
Okay.
there's
So, what would you rank it, Dragon Master? Dragon Master, what would you rank it?
I think Dragon stepped out for a bit.
Okay. CD Stein, what would you rank this spirit?
I mean, I would agree. This is probably the best out of the 3, in my opinion, as when it comes to like the spirit of Tolkien, minus the added stuff, and especially the scenes with Smog and entering into the Lonely Mountain, and just some of the visuals in this. This was probably the strongest of the 3, in my opinion. So I would definitely give this probably an 8.5. Kind of, I think it's for, like you said, just using the premise of the spirit of Tolkien. I think it's close. It's not quite there because there is a little too much added, but I think overall it kind of holds that.
Voice protagonist.
I'm going to hold steady with my first one. I'm sticking with a 7 on this one also.
I'm going
Lucky
with 9.
sevens.
I'm going with
You guys
9.
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, so for me, I'm gonna give it a 7.5, just for that dragon alone. I think that scene was probably my most favorite of the series,
Me too.
and I like the dragon too. So
The dragon. The dragon was awesome.
Okay. Yep. And now for the visuals, VFX, and CGI. What would you rate this? Rate it in this movie out of 10? CD Stein.
Visuals, I'm gonna go with, because we didn't get as many like vast landscapes, but I mean the CGI on the dragon is amazing. Smog the worm is probably the best thing visually, but the orcs to me were a little janky at times. So I'm special effects. I'm gonna go with 7 on this one.
All right. Dragon Master Zero.
I would put it at 8.5 just for that dragon alone.
13 King Style. King Style.
Okay, I'm sorry, just had to mute for a sec. Honestly, I think like in general for all the trilogy stuff, the visual effects and the CGI. If this was 10 years ago, I would say 10 out of 10, right? But because you look through a vision like in the past and you go look again, I'm gonna say it's probably an 8 out of 10 because some of the CGI and the visual effects don't look good. It looks bad now. It looks dated.
Voice protagonist.
I think I'm going to give this one an 8.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9. And now for the quality of storytelling. Who would like the? I would give this a 8 out of 10. Now, what would you? Now, 13 King Style. What would you rate the quality of storytelling out of 10?
Well, the first one is a 7 for me. This one is an 8. I agree with you, Sergeant, that it's good.
What about you?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, CD Stein.
I would go 7.5. I think that they added a little too much to this movie compared to the others, I think. So I would go 7.5. It's right there. It's very close, but a little less than I would want. So,
Voice protagonist.
I look at this straight up and don't compare it to the book. I'm going to give it a 7.
Dragon Master Zero.
I'd give it an 8. Just feels a little more straightforward than the last one.
Yeah, I give it 8 too.
Also, the Hobbit book was more like of a children's story, but they changed that for these movies because they're like, well, we got to make it like Lord of the Rings, so we can't make it super kiddie, right?
I don't know about that.
No,
I wouldn't say the Hobbit was. I mean, maybe from the other movies and stuff, but the book and the novel itself, I don't know if I would per se.
Well, wasn't it real like a children's book when it was originally intended? It was like
no.
It was.
I don't believe so.
No.
Wow.
No, I mean, you may remember from like a lot of the books from the animated series that they did, but the actual Tolkien novel, his original, was definitely not a kid's book. He created so much lore and language in this that, yeah.
Yeah. And now we move on to the trilogy's conclusion film, Battle of the Five Armies.
It should have been called There and Back Again, like it was originally intended.
Yeah. Good
But
point.
they had a I don't know. Maybe there was a trademark for there and back again. I don't know. It's just
Mhm.
weird that in the movies, right? He wrote it and said it was there, like even in the books, there and back again. Nope. Now we're gonna change the title because for reasons,
Yeah.
or it
Lots of
sounded cooler.
definitely. Now we know what. Yeah, it takes place directly where it left off on Desolation of Smog, with the dragon himself attacking Lake Town in retaliation for the dwarves coming back into the mountain and and outwitting him. He was not letting up when he started trashing everything in the every building in the town. A lot of people died, including the corrupt mayor. Yeah, yeah. And Bard was able to escape captivity from the jail that the mayor and his goons put him in. But also, while I'm amazed by how he took out Smog, there was one disappointing thing that disappointed me that Guillermo del Toro did. Yeah,
Well, technically, it's Peter Jackson because
I
I
was
think
gonna say, yeah,
the
'cause at
first
this
two,
point-
technically the first movie or the second one, a little bit in the beginning part, I think Del Toro was involved. The rest was just Peter Jackson. The third movie, is
that was all
completely
Peter.
is
Yeah,
Peter Jackson.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
Peter can blame it on Del Toro all he wants, but it's like, no, dude, you wanted to make a third movie to make extra money. It's
right.
fine. Just say that. Don't say, well, Del Toro had an idea for a trilogy. No, he was originally just going to do two movies.
Yep.
According to him, in writing and in interviews, he said, no, I wanted to do two.
yeah, yeah,
Like, I don't blame Peter. It's like, look, I want that extra royalty money because I don't own the rights to the Middle Earth series.
Right.
I want extra
Right.
money.
yeah,
I'm doing all this new revolutionary camera film work and editing and basically like a George Lucas type of stuff, right?
Right.
How he created new advanced film stuff that was never done before. I don't blame him. He's like, well, he deserves the money. Good for him.
yeah.
But just be honest, Peter. Just be honest.
Right.
I want more
Yeah,
money.
what disappointed me about of how they had Smog get taken down by Bard was the director choosing to use Bane as a fitting post rather than just having him get instead of having to just let Bard take him on alone. Yeah, I mean, what the heck were they doing? And even though it was meant to be a real life and death related situation. I mean, but also, man, Smog leveled the lake town big time. And Bard was able to take him down with the help of his son Bane, and his body weight even killed the mayor and some of the guys he was trying to escape with all his own gold and stuff.
Yeah, I really consider this movie like there's two parts to this movie, and in my opinion, the first half is significantly better than the second half. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that, but
No, I
mean,
agree.
all the things with Lake Town and Barn and Smog, and up to the point of killing, and then him becoming kind of the leader of Lake Town. All that really fit well, but then they added, having to bring Thranduil back and the whole, war over the gold in the Lonely Mountain and all, and it was just kind of a little more than necessary in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, Also, we also also get while deal while having fended off Smaug, three three members of the council, Galadriel, Sauron, and Elrond, went to the Dol door to rescue Gandalf
Right.
from Sauron. And I should tell you that another thing that I bet disappointed fans was the idea of having was this girl boss scene with Galadriel overpowering the Dark Lord. Yeah, I mean, what in the world was going on?
Well, in all honesty, in the novel, Galadriel isn't the girl boss like we saw in Rings of Power. This is her ability. She is one of the most powerful, elves, and especially when she possessed the one of the elven rings, she was a badass. I mean, in all honesty, and it took everything she had to resist it, and then that's why she kind of at that point just sat in the background for the most part after that. And especially if looking back on the the other trilogy. So I mean, this is kind of in character, and I would say she wasn't as much of a girl boss as we unfortunately get a lot now, and like she was in Rings of Power, which is just a bastardization.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, but of course, Sauron here was also with them. But
Right.
after Sauron fled, Sauron assured them that the Dark Lord would pose not that big of a deal as long as the One Ring is kept away from him at all cost. I'm not even sure if this was if it was before or after this part that Sauron ended up joining Sauron, but wow, that was quite a sample of what we would get out of out of a fight with him in the second or third age, and after that, while Bard and the townspeople of Lake Town were making their way north towards the Lonely Mountain, the dwarves started enjoying themselves, having taken back the mountain for its gold. But of course, it was starting to corrupt Thorin even further. The longer he became exposed to all that gold. Yeah, it was starting to drive him mad, and Bilbo was starting to realize this. So he decided to hide the Arkenstone away from him, and eventually, after being given a piece of clothing that made him impervious to blades and stuff, he got out of the Lonely Mountain and rallied into the desolated city of Dale to meet up with Threndel inside a tent, who was met by Gandalf to inform him about Sauron having made his move. Yeah, where they ended up forcing the Dark Lord into making his move, of course. And from there, Bilbo brought to him the Arkenstone in efforts of getting Thorin to start sharing much of the treasure with him and everyone from inside the Dale place. Yeah. And Gandalf, it's good to see he made it out. And I tell you, as soon as the Elf King presented the Arkenstone to Thorin, yeah, he started going nuts.
Yeah, I guess it corrupts you, man. Too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, drove him nuts. Yeah, like he was some kind of maniac calling for blood. Man, the treasure sure drove him nuts inside that mountain.
I don't know. I guess the drawback is basically it gives you strength / power, right? Or perceived power, and then
Oh, yeah.
you basically go insane. to the point
Definitely.
that people don't even recognize you anymore. They're like, "What happened to you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, the Arkenstone is actually a substance called the Cimmerillis, not to be confused with the Cimmerillion. It's almost like almost like a radioactive like power source that does corrupt. That's kind of what it's like, the backstory, and it's mined in the same places that Mithril is, which was what Bilbo's armored shirt was made out of, and it's even more rare than Mithril.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's almost like plutonium. You can kind of, immense power, but has a big downside to it.
Definitely. Yeah. But then after being prevented from, well, then after the other dwarves and Gandalf stopped throwing them, dropping Bilbo off the ledge, his cousin came along, played by an actor who I've known from the open season movie as the voice of McSquizzy. And that would be, who was the name of the Thorin's cousin?
William
Dane.
Conley,
Dane.
the actor.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Dane came in with his army of dwarves to assist Thorin and his escorts. Soon if, well, just before they could make a move against the elves and the humans, the orcs came along, and then they had to engage the orcs all together. Well, yeah, in an epic battle for the Lonely Mountain. Yeah. It's clear from what Gandalf said that the reason Sauron had Smaug take over the mountain was all because he wanted to use it as his vantage point on taking over Middle-earth within the southern regions. And that's when you got all these orcs coming in, fighting everyone. Yeah. Quite glorious battle, too.
It was good, but how much was some of that padded in for time, though?
Right.
Yeah, good question.
I mean,
don't
it
get
was
me
a
wrong, I
good
love
battle.
battles. I love
Yeah.
battles, but
It was no Helm's Deep, but yeah, it was a good battle.
because unfortunately, that happened in I know technically this has nothing to do with Lord of the Rings or Middle Earth or Hobbit, but Naruto, the same problem was the war arc and Shippuden, the fourth great Shinobu War. It was great, it was good in certain parts, but like the problem with war scenes or battles, you have to write it good, or you can't overdo it, or else it's terrible.
Right.
You got to balance it out.
Then it
go
becomes
ahead.
a CGI or a choreographic,
Yeah,
showcase. Hey, look
it
what we can
becomes like
do
a
in an
dance.
hour.
It
Then you're
becomes
like-
like a dance,
And it
basically.
starts to get boring. You're like, okay, what's the point? Who's winning? What's going on here?
Mhm.
Yeah, so you have to you can't, like, that's why like they would cut away from the battle scenes and have like the actors like doing monologue like in a cave or something, or somewhere far away from the battlefield, because it takes away from the battle scenes because it gets too repetitive. You kind of have to do that.
Definitely. Yeah.
But that is the one thing in both trilogies. I think they did the battles well. Most of them were paced pretty well, and I mean, to cut back and forth, you're right. I mean, does kind of break up the monotony of just an onslaught of characters going at each other. But a lot of the movies that I've seen, large scale battles, even in this, I think it did a pretty good job at keeping you interested for the most part in these.
Yeah, because I don't want to say fight scenes or battle scenes in a a war movie or like a fantasy world where you're battling in a war is boring, but it could get too repetitive that it could
Right.
be perceived as boring.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
you got to be careful with that.
Yeah, we saw what happened with the MCU.
Yeah,
Well, you got to get to the point of what is this doing to advance the story, right?
Right.
It's
well,
like a
other than
reward.
padding time, because
Back to
yeah.
your original point, you're absolutely right. I needed runtime, so
Yep.
and again, I love fight scenes in movies. Don't get me wrong, but it's like you don't have to overdo it. Like you could literally. I know some people hate this, but doing flashback scenes or talking like that's what they do in manga/anime tropes. Like when they're doing a battle, they'll go into a flashback. In anime, it could get a little ridiculous, but at least in a movie or a TV show, it's like how the hell did I get in this situation? And then you go
Yeah.
5 years ago, and they met each other, they were friends, and then they get into a fight 5 years like present time. Like a battle or war, like that makes sense. Like, how did they get to this point that they're doing this?
Exactly.
In this scenario, you kind of hard to do that, but I think it can make it work with good writing.
Hi, Draconis.
Hey, Draconis.
Hey, Draconis.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, as soon as Thorin came to his senses and came out with his comrades to assist his cousin and their fellow dwarves against the orcs, he vowed that he embraced with his cousin Dane and then went after Azog, bringing with him Dwalin, the first dwarf that Bilbo met, along with the two young brother dwarves, Philly and Killy. Yeah, they engaged on the mountain of ice against some of the orcs and the dwarves, orcs and the goblins. But then, as soon as Philly and Killy got separated, Azog killed Philly.
Who's the actor that played James Gordon in the Dark Knight trilogy? What was his name? I'm sorry.
No, Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. You know, it'd be hilarious if Gary Oldman pulled the tiptoes and he just pretended to be an elf or a dwarf, and in reality he's just a tall fucking dude on his knees, and everybody's playing it straight.
Definitely.
Like it would be the hilarious. Well, Gary Oldman, like he turned a serious drama into a comedy movie. How do you do that? How do you turn a drama into a comedy movie? Then again, they had David Alan Grier in that movie too. So and Matthew McConaughey. So you unintentionally made it into a comedy movie, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Anyway, this is where Azog killed the long-haired blonde dwarf, and the other brother dwarf, the one who loves the female elf, got killed by Bolg after he outwitted and knocked Bilbo unconscious. Yeah, Bolg was quite a tough one. Legolas was the only one capable of keeping up with him because he had the reflexes to overcome Bolg's defenses. Eventually, and sure enough, while Thorin was dealing with some of Azog's orcs, they started helping each other out by giving, and well, as soon as Thorin was being overpowered, Legolas handed Thorin the Goblin Cleaver. Well, that's what I think it was, and by flinging it at one of the other dwarves, one of the orcs that was overpowering him on the cliff of ice. And after that, Legolas killed Bolg by stabbing him right in the head with his two daggers. then we finally come to Thorin versus Azog. Yeah, yeah. The two leaders of the dwarves and orcs started fighting each other. Yeah, Azog was. Thorin tried to take Azog down with brains over brawn, but ice wasn't enough to stop Azog. So he had to take a blow from him only to get the upper hand and impale him with his goblin cleaver, taking out the leader of the orcs, even if it risked his own life as well. Yeah, quite a fight.
How much of the orcs were CGI and how much was there people in a costume, like basically prosthetics and makeup?
Good question.
Because that makes you wonder, like, because you could tell some of them were CGI. They were clearly like they did not look like they were people, wearing a costume, acting the parts. It was clearly CGI. And in some
Definitely.
cases, in still shots, maybe they were in prosthetics and heavy makeup. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I know there was a lot more CGI in this than like in the original trilogy, like say the Urukai compared to these guys. I think for the most part, it was like CGI overlay. I know like some of the fight scenes and stuff, it was an actor doing the fight together, but they did a lot of CGI overlay.
Yeah, and it looks awkward, size janky sometimes.
Yeah,
just
that's the
doesn't-
one big criticism for these.
And that's my issue that I have with certain movies, right? When you do that, right? Like say Sonic in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, right? If Dr. Eggman were to punch him, right, it wouldn't look right.
Right.
Because the only way it would look right is you'd have to get like a dwarf, like a legit dwarf wearing a Sonic costume or a green bodysuit and Jim Carrey pretending to punch him like a stunt dwarf. And then in post, it's Sonic getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't look right. Because in reality, he'd be punching a doll, right?
Yeah.
He'd just be punching like a mannequin thing. And then it looks weird. It looks like he's punching the air.
Or just like a green ball on a stick.
Yeah, like the same thing happened in I Am Legend with Will Smith, like the dog. Remember Sam, the dog?
Oh, yeah.
It was a person. It was a guy wearing a body green suit holding like a dog head.
Oh, what?
It looked terrible. Yeah, look up the images. It looks terrible. Oh my god.
Even a lot of like the Hulk stuff from the Avengers movies. It's like a dude with this backpack that's got a big stick on it and a green Hulk head stuck on the top of it.
Oh.
Yeah, look up the green screen or CGI Sergeant. Like you'll see it. I saw images of it years ago, man. It looked bad, man. I think you have to put like CG, like green screen or whatever. Put the dog green screen because you won't find the images. Well, I think it's there. Look in the corner. You'll see like a guy.
I just saw it.
I saw it.
Yep.
Wow.
Go back.
Yeah, go back. You'll find it.
Right. Yeah, it shows
right there
under the word green screen.
On the right. Yeah, under the green screen. Nope. On the right side. Go up. Up.
Oh, there.
There you go.
There you go. See?
Oh my god.
That's the image. That is the image that like I saw that. I'm like, oh, really?
Wow.
Look, I understand Will Smith doesn't want to get rabies or whatever. I understand that. He doesn't want. You don't want to use a real dude, but like at least for close-up shots, right? Have a trained dog that's like that used to be with the cops pounce on him like it was a play. They tell him it's play. You play with him. You play, tag or whatever, right? and then you use the you mix CGI with him looking like he was going to bite his head off. That's what you do. Because it looks ridiculous with the guy in the green bodysuit with that dog head, and Will has to pretend like it's a dog trying to kill him.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times do you have to do the scene because you're laughing? For a guy
Yeah,
with a
and I
puppet
bet
head,
you he got or him getting upset because it's like, you want me to do this again?
Yeah,
but you don't look like you were scared enough. I'm like, we did this 10 times already. How many times do you want me to do this?
Good question. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't blame some actors getting annoyed or upset. Like, I think Ian McKellen was upset. One of the X-Men cast members got upset because they no, it wasn't Ian McKellen. It was Harrison Ford with Indiana Jones. No, not Indiana Jones, the Red Hulk. He did an interview recently, like back in May. He was like, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't like the fact that I had to be in a green screen bodysuit and be in a sound stage doing my lines. They told me I had to come back. Why do I have to come back?" He did not give a fuck.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. In that movie, he pretty much phoned it in anyway.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, you're getting easy money. You're complaining. Like, dude, they could have gotten another actor, Harrison. They could have gotten anybody else. They picked you because they like you.
Yeah, but they wanted the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess Morgan Freeman wouldn't fit the description because of obvious reasons.
Well, I mean, you've already had 2 other Thunderbolt Rosses. I mean, you honestly could have had Sam Elliott come back, even though he's old, because he was the first Thunderbolt Ross.
All right, guys, let's start. Just like the first 2, you know the drill. Let's start ranking each of these movies by category. Now, does this movie uphold the spirit of Tolkien? What would you rank it?
I would say it's probably a 6 or a 6.5. If I could do a half.
Yeah. What about you, C.D. Stein?
I would agree. 6.5 is the highest I would give it, and it gets that because of the first half of this movie, in my opinion. Second, if I was just judging in halves, the second half would have a lot less score. But as a whole, I would give it 6.5.
Because it's just weird, guys, right? Like, what is up with trilogies? Like, the third movie is it's a rare exception or a super rare exception that the third movie is better than the other 2 movies or one of the previous movies.
Yeah, the first Lord of the Rings trilogy, that third movie was legitimately probably the best.
Yeah, because you usually don't have that. It's usually either the first or the second movie that's like the best movie, either by critics or fans or both.
Well, it's usually the second.
Yeah, because
you're establishing, you're establishing everything in the first. You've got that peak of the arc of the story in the second, and then you've got kind of wrapping things up in a third.
Because Back to the Future 3 was like, don't get me wrong, I like certain things of Back to the Future 3, but it was weak. It wasn't necessary. It's like, did we really needed to go to the Wild Wild West with Marty?
Yeah,
like I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. They're trying to make references to John Wayne and Clint Eastwood, but what, you didn't even bother getting Clint Eastwood or John Wayne or Mickey Mantle or Ronald Reagan could have cameoed as like the mayor or the sheriff of the Western thing. Like,
yeah,
he's a former actor. He could have come out of retirement to do the movie.
Yeah,
but they didn't do that. That would have made sense why they did the Western movies. If you're going to have somebody train Marty to do, handgun combat, you bring one of those actors back from the Western movies.
Okay,
that would have made sense. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm going off a tangent here. Yeah. So, anybody else rating the film? Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll give it a 6 because again it's towards the end of the trilogy. I'm glad it's like you're I'm glad it's like over, but at the same time you reflect on it and then you look at the story as a whole, like you wonder could it have been shorter, could have been made more straightforward, and yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. What about you, voice?
This one tails off in this third one, and so Spirit of Tolkien, I'm gonna go 6.
Yeah, me too. Next up, the visuals, VFX, and the CGI. What are your rankings, fellas?
I mean, once again, you almost have to go tale of two movies in this single movie. The beginning and up to the point of the defeat of Smog, I think the visual effects were phenomenal. Once we started getting into the battle and the massive amount of CGI like creatures that we had to deal with, I think that kind of lost it a little bit. I I'm gonna go another like 6.5 at the very most that I can give it on that.
What about you, Dragon Master?
I'll give it an 8 only for the dragon because I also agree. I think way too much CGI was put into the battle that took away out that made it like go to the realm of unbelievability as regards to believability.
And 13 King style?
I would have to go with 8 as well because again, if this was like 10 years ago, I would have said 10 out of 10. But you look back and you watch it, and some of the CGI looks very dated for today,
Voice
and it
protagonist?
looks janky. It looks janky at certain characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
it's
your
an
rating,
8.
voice?
It's an 8 with me.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with 7. Yeah, too much CGI isn't not a good idea.
And they
I
should have just
hope-
had more practical effects, like you said, Sergeant.
Yeah,
Should
but
have
it's even
been
more
more
watchable than
costumes.
today's content. And now for the final part of the thing: quality of storytelling. What's your ranking? Voice protagonist?
I'm gonna give this a 7.
Okay. Dragon Master?
6.5.
CD Stein?
I'll probably go probably a 7. I mean, like I said, this movie is the definition of the tale of two movies in a single film. You know, the beginning and with the whole smog battle, and then you go off completely kind of off script and in the second half. So 7 because it kind of kept to the spirit but didn't stick with the text per se of the source material.
And King style?
I would say 7 because it was doing its best to be like a gray, like a grand epic at the end.
Right.
But again, it should have just been 2 movies, and it just felt like they were trying to replicate the success of the third Lord of the Rings movie, and I understand that. I get it, but not everything you can't do compare and contrast or be equal sometimes. There's nothing wrong with the Hobbit playing second fiddle because it's the prequel.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I
have
give
to be
this
such
one
a
a
grand
6.
epic. It just could have been okay. And that's it. So that's why I say 7. So it could have been better, but again, it's a
Yeah, I could have-
prequel, so it is what it is.
yeah, I give it a 6. Okay. But one more thing, fellas. Tonight's sponsor.
Mm.
A special one. Lego Lord of the Rings. This one is Rivendell. Most expensive one by far compared to the. Yeah. And if anyone is still doing Christmas shopping during this holiday season, feel free to consider looking into getting your friends or loved ones or even your kids something fun to build. Yeah, they started releasing these a couple of months ahead of the re-release of the movies. You've got Rivendell. You've also got more or Lego set called. Oh, what do we got here? Oh yes. Oh right. Hang on. You've also got Barad-dûr. Yeah, where Sauron's eye is up there and stuff
You,
like that.
you imagine building Legos of those rock mountain people fighting each other?
Yeah,
How long that would take to build one of those or two of them?
Oh,
yeah, it would take days.
They also
Yeah.
have
almost bought that
the yeah, I
And then
know.
I
I
go, what are you doing? Where's that going?
They
Yeah,
have a Mines of Moria one too, the Balrog battle, and it's like a bookshelf Lego set that you can open up, or it slides would be like a bookend. It's really cool.
definitely cool. And last but not least, the Shire. And last but not least, the Shire. Yep, the Shire. Yeah, this one takes place during Bilbo's birthday party. Yeah, if you've all seen the one from 2001 on how funny Bilbo was acting up when disappearing with the use of the One Ring, and that Gandalf caught him and got him to surrender it just from intimidating him with his presence. And that was fun. Good old Ian McKellen and Ian Holmes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like it is weird though that Gandalf kind of basically was doing something that's not hero like, sort of like he basically basically like Batman done this a bunch of times in comic books and other medias, but that just seems like kind of out of character for a hero to be like, give me that or else.
Mhm.
Bobo, I don't think you'd want me to break your feet in front of your family members, would you?
Not at all.
Give me the ring and you could enjoy your little birthday party. And we'll
Yeah.
pretend it never happened. This conversation never happened.
Yeah. Well, guys, that'll be it for tonight. Thanks again for coming. Be sure to catch the replay for some of you who've missed out on the whole thing. It's been great having you guys on tonight. I just got one more stream to do for the month well, I have one more open panel to do this year next week, but after that I'll probably just be either chilling and doing other things, or maybe even something else. But hey, thanks again for coming, y'all.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Sergeant.
Oh, absolutely. I guess I'll see everyone in the chats.
Yep.
Alrighty. Have a good night, y'all.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Have fun, guys.
Yeah, and Merry Christmas as well.
Yep. Merry Christmas,
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Here.
Christmas.